It's happening. Some brand new reports have dropped, revealing some huge information surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers and center Walker Kessler that changes the outlook of Rob Pelinka's plans this offseason. We're going to break down exactly what those are and discuss what this means going forward as things continue to heat up and moves are on the horizon and are imminent across the NBA and specifically for the Lakers. We'll break that down as well as break down some other interesting updates, folks. Before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support over here as we're on the road to the big goal of 25,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to go over today. Now, obviously, we're at a point in the offseason where things are really going to start picking up now. The NBA Finals have a chance to end tonight, and of course, the Thunder are probably going to take care of business, which means the Lakers have some work to do to be able to compete with the Thunder and to get up to the point where they can get to the level of where the Oklahoma City Thunder are right now. And the first step in that is acquiring a center, and some new reports have dropped and things have started to get very real surrounding Walker Kessler and the Los Angeles Lakers. And you can see this here. Now, there's a bunch of different reports to go over, including one from Dave McMenamin, but we'll start with this. The Los Angeles Lakers have shown interest in centers Walker Kessler and John Collins. Of course, John Collins, a power forward, at the trade deadline per Andy Blarson. So for the first time in a while, we've heard some actual, legit reporting surrounding who the Lakers were really going after at the trade deadline. And of course, why this is relevant is because they're going to be, Luka Doncic was on the team at, following who they were looking for at the trade deadline, rather. And he was involved heavily in those discussions surrounding John Collins, surrounding Walker Kessler, and players like that. So for them to be able to go out now, and we know that they want a guy like John Collins or Walker Kessler, is very notable, especially because a brand new report has also dropped recently, about an hour ago, saying that the Lakers have been eyeing Walker Kessler for a while and are still pursuing him. So it seems to be that things are getting very real surrounding the Lakers and Walker Kessler, because and we've had multiple videos on the channel surrounding it. There's been times where it seemed extremely unlikely. There's been times where it seemed a little bit likely. And we think back to the trade deadline. For a little period of time there, it seemed like the Lakers were making Walker Kessler the #1 priority. And reportedly, Luka Doncic wanted Walker Kessler and all those different things. Now, surrounding Walker Kessler at the trade deadline, he ultimately, and the Jazz ultimately decided to keep him, and the Jazz didn't want to trade him. But now we know a bunch of new reports have dropped revealing that the Lakers are not only interested, but that the Jazz are interested in trading Walker Kessler in general. So with that, keeping that in mind and that being the case, you're at a point now where the Jazz are willing to trade Walker Kessler, and the Lakers are going to go all in for him because he was an ideal fit for Luka Doncic, and of course because he is a player that is an absolute beast, right? He is a beast. There's no denying it. There's no doubting it. And you can see this here from Art Cummings, another report. The Lakers have shown significant interest in Walker Kessler at the deadline and are continuing to now. The Jazz receiving multiple picks for him is on the table. And you can see this here from Austin Reaves. It's an A-grade Twitter name. Noise is getting louder. And that's ultimately the case here. Noise is getting extremely loud surrounding Walker Kessler. Not only the Lakers, but getting traded in general. And as the NBA season officially comes to a close here in the next few days or as early as tonight, things are going to start really picking up, because at the point now where the draft is very soon, free agency opens up very soon, obviously July 1st, and things are going to get very hectic surrounding the NBA and across the NBA. But also as the draft approaches, the big storyline is going to be who the Lakers go after at the center department. We know Nic Claxton has been their #1 priority for a while, but that was because Walker Kessler wasn't available. And now that Kessler is available and new reports have doubled down on that, we're almost past the point of no return now, in the sense of, if multiple reports are coming out that the Jazz are willing to trade Walker Kessler, that means the reports are legit, right? Especially this close to when a trade could actually happen. And you pair that with a new report from ESPN's Dave McMenamin, and he said during an interview very recently that the Lakers are intrigued by Walker Kessler and that he is on their radar. Goes on to say the only thing on that front is that Walker Kessler remains a name the Lakers are intrigued by. Whether that will lead to any sort of deal, obviously last year the asking price was too steep, and obviously the Lakers ended up pivoting those assets to get some other players. And, they wanted to talk to the Jazz and get Kessler in order to do the Luka Doncic trade. That came off the table after the Luka Doncic trade. If they do revisit it, that remains a player that the Lakers feel could fit the void they have at center. I'm not reporting anything moving towards a deal or picking up steam or anything like that, but Kessler remains on their radar. So again, Dave McMenamin hedging his bets here. He's not saying anything was picking up steam. This was a few days ago. However, I'm saying things have been picking up steam over the past few days with all these different reports and rumors that are coming out, especially from today, like specifically over the past few hours. There's been report after report after report after report about Walker Kessler, the Lakers' interest in Walker Kessler, how things are going to move towards a deal, not necessarily with the Lakers, but with other teams as well. And we think back to last year when he averaged 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2.4 blocks a game. It was his best year, as a professional. But also the biggest thing here for the Lakers is that he has a $4.9 million salary next season. So it's going to be easy to match his salary, unlike guys like Nick Claxton, where, still easy enough to match his salary. You have Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, on expiring. Hachimura has been involved in some talks. But the big thing here is that the Jazz are going to want draft compensation for Walker Kessler. Now, regarding what the Lakers can move, they have their 2031 first-round pick. It's the only pick that they own themselves they can move. They have 2 second-round picks, and they also have multiple first-round pick swaps. So, swaps are going to be the big deal here. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of other teams that have more actual picks rather than swaps that they can offer in a deal for, Kessler, simply because of the fact that, Lakers gave a lot of them up in a bunch of different trades. We're not going to dive into all the trades. They obviously gave up a recent one to Luka Doncic as well, but by only giving up one first-round pick in the Luka trade, they now open themselves up to be able to potentially make a deal like this. And again, the Jazz might consider a deal involving multiple draft picks. So let's say you give up your 2031 first, maybe even a guy like Dalton Knecht, who can be considered as a first-round pick. He was last year. And then, some swaps, seconds, basically empty the cupboard rather for what you have as an organization to trade. And of course, more picks are going to open up. You can also, move on from some players to get picks back if you ever want to, pivot in that direction. Austin Reaves, not saying they should, but it's always a possibility. And you look at the depth chart, they need a center, and Walker Kessler would be, I think, out of all the options, I'd much prefer Kessler over Claxton. I'd much prefer Kessler over pretty much everybody because of the versatility that he offers this team. And also, fantastic rim protector, fantastic, pick and roll, defender, solid, on the pick and roll offensively as well. And he would thrive under Luka Doncic. In Utah, he hasn't really ever had a, proper point guard. Colin Sexton around, the block. You have other guys like that, and Keontae George. Regardless of that, right, you have Walker Kessler with Luka Doncic, with LeBron James. I expect those numbers to go up to 17, 18 a game, like similar to Mark Williams, because he has, LaMelo Ball. And there's also been some other reports here. They do have a 2031 first-round pick they could trade, and then Dalton Knecht, who had a really good first half of the season. Looked more like a rookie in the second half of the season and wasn't really trusted by JJ Redick in the high leverage moments in the playoffs. However, he's a guy who can put up numbers. There's no delicate way to say this. Could become a fan favorite in Utah as a high-scoring guy. There could be some sort of package to be had around that. So you put in Dalton Knecht in the package. You put in, not Gabe Vincent, obviously. You don't need to match salary. You put in a first-round pick in there, and you'll be very solid because you have your 2031 first. You have Dalton Knecht. That's basically, for all intents and purposes, 2 first-round picks. And again, if you want to go in and throw out your, other picks, your pick swaps, that's basically 3 first-round picks. Your 2031 first, Dalton Knecht, a pick swap, a couple second-round picks you throw in there as well. I think that'll be enough to get the deal done for the beast that is Walker Kessler Jr. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on that. Things are really picking up. And as we know, the rest of the NBA knows, there's some teams under pressure. There's some teams not. Are the Lakers one of those teams? Probably, but they do have Luka Doncic for the foreseeable future, so you don't want the other teams around the NBA to know that you're under pressure and then, have to make you overpay. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. You guys are beasts. Cheers.